Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. There are many YouTubers out there that cover the Tesla and investing space, and I follow a lot of them. But I follow them for many different reasons. It doesn't mean I agree with every single point they have or every single idea or philosophy that they carry or hold. But I like them for their individual talents. You know, Rob Maurer, he's very analytical, he's very stoic, he's what I wish the news was, right? Tries to be unbiased and just a filter for facts. Dave Lee, I think he's an excellent interviewer. And then you have Warren Redlich, and I think Warren Redlich is very good at debating and analyzing points. And I think he's actually become very technical as his YouTube channel has grown. I think it's just the nature of him being a former lawyer, right? He likes to get into the weeds of things. But for this video, I have a little bit of a problem with Warren Redlich. And honestly, this is coming from somebody who is a big fan of Warren Redlich. I follow him for his Tesla content. I don't know about everything else, but with regards to Tesla content, I'm a big fan of his. But I have a problem with him because I think he failed to really go at Alex from E4 Electric on a very important point that I thought was something that was very disingenuous from Alex. If you guys haven't seen my video, you can find it here. It talks about how Alex was just disingenuous and essentially lied about what Sandy Munro said. And in that video, I also talk about why Sandy Munro is fundamentally wrong about the idea of using FLIR as a replacement for cameras or LiDAR or radar, and why FLIR is not the answer for FSD or autonomous driving. So again, in this episode, I'm more so reacting to Alex, and again, my whole pushback on Warren is just that I've seen Warren be very surgical with people and not let people get away with things, and I felt like he kind of let Alex get away with things here. I understand maybe Warren was trying to be a little more balanced, to in the future want Alex to come back on his channel. And maybe Warren, is trying not to be too much of a bulldog or too surgical. So, I don't know what Warren's thinking in the moment. Or maybe, Alex just said something else that was just completely out of left field, and that just took Warren away from the initial point, right? These things happen live, just like this right now. This is live stream of consciousness, so things happen. You forget about certain points, you forget about things other people said. So, I will give him a little bit of grace when it comes to that. But in general, I am a fan of Warren. However, I just think in this case, I think he could have been a little more pointed when it comes to Alex. But with that said, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell, and let's take a listen to Alex make a fool of himself.
You had a video recently with Sandy Munro where I felt that your video title did not accurately describe what Sandy said, and I thought your editing was a little careful. I felt that Sandy was saying that cameras are crap compared to FLIR, right? The forward-looking infrared.
No. That's not what he said.
Well, no, hang on. I'm saying that's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
The way you depicted it in your headline and your title and the way you talked about it, it sounded like you were saying Sandy thinks that Tesla FSD is crap.
So you can see there, Warren starts off being a little PC, saying you were delicate in the way that you worded it. And then you can see Alex tries to interrupt Warren, and Warren just doesn't have it, right? This is the Warren that I love when I see him debate people, when, again, in the sphere of Tesla, right? Everything I'm talking about is the sphere of Tesla. I know Warren has other ideas about other things. I'm not talking about that. This is all about Tesla. It's all about FSD. But I like that Warren pressed back on him, right? Didn't let Alex get away from it, and Alex was already trying to, correct him. But let's hear what Alex actually said, what Sandy Munro actually said, so we understand the context of this entire clip. Because the point is, Sandy Munro never called FSD crap. He never called Tesla's FSD crap. What he was referring to is he thinks LiDAR, cameras, radar, he thinks all of that's crap, and he thinks FLIR is the way forward. But Alex has a weird way of twisting things and wants to manipulate the conversation to say that Sandy Munro said Tesla FSD is crap. So let's hear what the actual conversation was.
At the end of the day, it's 2022, and it's still level 2, not level 3 or 4. They've decided not to go with the LiDAR, and then they even got rid of radars, but now they have a phantom braking problem. If you were to advise Elon, which I think I ask you pretty regularly, but what would you do? What are the things that Tesla needs to do to just stop screwing around and get this thing going, level 3, level 4. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are really simple. All that stuff's crap. You know what? I've designed missiles and bombs, and they have to go through clouds, and they have to go through rainstorms and snowstorms, and they have to hit the target every time. And I'm telling you, we took a very big bomb and dropped it in a pipe, basically, and that's what blew up Saddam Hussein's impenetrable bunkers. Did I use radar, LADAR? Did I use geopositioning? Did I use cameras? None of that shit. All I used was FLIR, forward-looking infrared. That's what you need. The rest of the stuff is kids. It's stupid.
So very clearly, Sandy Munro is talking about from a hardware perspective. He's talking about cameras, LiDAR, radar, right, and FLIR, of course. So at no point was he actually talking about Tesla FSD. So keep that in mind as we go forward here and as Alex attempts to defend his point of view.
You made this video and you made it look like Sandy said Tesla FSD is crap. And the way I heard what he actually said, he was commenting that he thinks FLIR is a better forward-looking infrared instead of regular cameras, that he thinks that is the future and that cameras and all the other stuff, LiDAR, radar, whatever, are inadequate compared to FLIR. I'm just saying that's what I heard. But the question that Thomas had was, what is your background to be able to have an opinion on Tesla's FSD system? Where do you get the authority to comment as if you know something about self-driving cars?
That video.
Now, I get what Warren is trying to get at here, and it's not even his question. It's one of his followers, one of his Patreon members, I imagine. Look, I don't ever like that argument of I know something because I have this degree or an authority. So I think that tends to be a poor way to debate anything. I don't think you need a college degree. I don't think you need a certain plaque. I don't think you need any of that to really understand something. So I think I'm not saying that's what Warren's getting at. Warren might just be saying, like, what training do you have? What experience do you have? So that could become valuable. But just in general, my own point of view is I don't think you need to have a degree or a certain certificate or a certification to say you know something, right? We can all learn things on our own, right? I mean, I think that's where we're going towards as a society. We're really moving away from higher education in its traditional form, and we're getting more and more towards a place where we can learn things from YouTube, from Udemy, right? There's different elements, but let's get back and let's see what Alex has to say.
Video, I believe, was not edited at all. So there's no way to accuse me of shuffling things around. I actually generally don't edit his videos in terms of, like, I'll put a B-roll on it, right? And we switch cameras and stuff like that, but we don't actually take pieces out or move them around. I mean, that would be dishonest at the very least.
So I'm glad that he has an issue with dishonesty.
Secondly, don't forget, Sandy watches his own videos. His staff watch the video. His fans watch the video. There's no way I can get away for some reason. Like, I like Sandy a lot. So I would not do that to him. And if I did, he would catch on very quickly and call me out on that.
But before Warren responds here, so his whole point, Alex's whole point is that, oh, well, Sandy watches the videos, his team watches it, Sandy's fans watch it. I'm a Sandy fan. I watched it, and I made a video calling Alex out. So I don't understand what his point is. Like, people like me exist out there. So the fact that I exist out there, and many of you commented on my video regarding why Sandy was wrong and how Alex was dishonest. Many of you commented saying, about time someone says something here. So to Alex's whole point, it's not a point, right? Because I did come out and I did make a video saying that he was wrong, calling him out. What he did was disingenuous. Not just that, but he made another video, actually, where he completely took out, I think it was 2 videos later, and I referenced it in my video criticizing Alex and Sandy, but Alex literally cuts out the entire hardware portion and just clips in talking about how what Sandy says, or that Sandy said FSD is crap, right? He clipped out the hardware. He just put in the crap part, and he prefaced it by saying, Sandy Munro thinks FSD is, well, let him say in his own words. And he comes up saying crap. So Alex just lied to everybody. Alex does clip things. He does manipulate it for his own perception of what Tesla is or isn't, right? I mean, so everything he just said there is a lie. I exist. I made a video criticizing him. I'm a Sandy Munro fan. Many of you commented on my video agreeing. And on top of that, Alex followed up by making another video where he did clip things out, took out the hardware piece, which you needed for context for what Sandy was calling crap, and he made it seem as though Sandy was calling FSD crap. Disingenuous, and this whole point is a lie. It's just what it is.
So you think that you're telling me that Sandy Munro thinks Tesla FSD is crap?
I can't speak for Sandy.
No. That was the title of your video.
Right. So, well, but I mean, I quoted him. He basically, when I asked him about.
Okay, I'm saying he said that using regular cameras as opposed to FLIR, that regular cameras are crap. You made the title of the video that Sandy Munro thinks FSD is crap.
Well, like I said,
he did not say FSD is crap. He said that cameras are crap.
You want to read the title again?
You see how all of a sudden Alex gets very snarky? And in here, look, this is the Warren that I like, right? Warren is not letting Alex move away from this. He's saying, no, BS, this is what you said. You even put it in your title. Sandy said cameras are crap, LiDAR is crap, radar is crap, FLIR is the way. And Alex is sitting here saying, well, I can't speak for what Sandy said. Sandy never said FSD's crap. That's the whole point, Alex. He calls himself a journalist. How can you be a journalist and get things this wrong? I say this every time. Words matter. Words have meaning. There's nuance in every single word you choose. And what he's doing, he's not even choosing words. He's clipping things out. He's making thumbnails that look a certain way. Take a look at this. I'll put it up right here. You can see what the actual thumbnail was. You can see how he manipulates this to make it look like Sandy Munro said FSD is crap. All right, now here, Warren luckily looks it up and calls him out, right? The whole smug attitude of his, you might want to look at it again. Well, we'll take a look. Warren does look it up.
I'll have to look at it again.
That's not what I said, but looking at it again, go ahead and Google it right now. But I will tell you meanwhile that the conversation wasn't about cameras. There's no sane person in the world, and no expert that I talked to, and no company that makes self-driving software that believes that cameras are unnecessary. The conversation is never about cameras. The conversation is about what needs to complement and work with vision.
Okay, wait. The title of your video is, well, the thumbnail says Sandy Munro calls out Tesla, and the title of your video is Sandy Munro : Tesla FSD crap, better tech available. Your headline indicates that Sandy Munro said, yes.
All right. Okay.
Your video suggests that he said, and then your description says, Sandy Munro calls Tesla's FSD full self-driving tech crap and insists there's a better technology that should be used by Tesla and others for better self-driving technology. You wrote that Sandy Munro called Tesla's FSD crap.
Right. Not specifically the camera. This is
what I'm saying is what he said is that the cameras are crap and that FLIR is better. But he said Tesla's FSD is crap, which conflicts with when he interviewed Elon. He was going on about how great his experience with FSD beta was.
I can't talk for Sandy whether he changed his opinion or he maybe not carefully worded his position. So I can't talk for Sandy, just like I wouldn't talk for you. If somebody asked me what happened at the interview, go look at the tape. My impression of what he said, and that's what the title and description came from, is that essentially my impression was that Sandy believes that instead of radars or LiDARs, or not having them at all, that looking infrared.
Do you see what we're dealing with here? He doesn't even understand the words coming out of his own mouth. All right, Warren is very clearly saying, no, you said FSD is crap. You said that's what Sandy said. That's the quote that you're saying. And he's going back and saying, no, we never said anything about the cameras. This guy doesn't understand what he's saying. He really has no idea. And then when we talk about FLIR, he says facing, looking, and that's not what it stands for. Like, this just shows you how inept he is. He does not, I'm not saying he's not an intelligent person. I'm sure within his own domain he's intelligent, but he's speaking about things that he has no authority on, he has no understanding on. His perception of these things are at a very elementary level. All right, and again, I'm not criticizing his intellect by any means. I'm sure he's great at writing and whatever his background is. I'm sure he's great at that. When it comes to full self-driving, same with Sandy. Frankly, it was Sandy when it comes to neural nets, when it comes to AI, he has no business really talking about it. Sandy doesn't understand how it actually works. Sandy still thinks it's a hardware problem. He lives in the 90s where everything was hardware. He doesn't understand that everything's about software now. Hardware is ubiquitous. Hardware should be irrelevant at this point. We expect hardware to fail. Software does not fail at the same clip as hardware, right? That's why we've gone away from specialized hardware. We're more generic hardware. So it's really bad. This is really, really bad. And I love that Warren is pressing him, but now is where you'll see where Warren just lets off and just kind of lets it go. And this is what I take issue with. It's like, Warren, don't let him backtrack on this. You need to keep pressing on him because he does not seem to understand what he's saying. If he's going to be a journalist, if he's going to be somebody who tries to be benevolent and claim to be unbiased, well, then you need to call him out when he's just dead wrong.
Forward-looking infrared. Yeah, FLIR.
Forward-looking infrared is a technology that needs to complement cameras. If he thinks that cameras need to be removed, I would be surprised, and that means I misunderstood him. But from what I understand, nobody's arguing about cameras. I don't see how cameras are bad. They're cheap and they're great. It's what should complement the, because, in my question, if you listen to the question, I'm talking about how Tesla has struggled without radars.
So what qualifications do you have to understand?
So, and I'll let him finish this, but this is where, see, he doesn't go back at it. It's like, again, the main point is you said Sandy called FSD crap. FSD is the actual software Tesla's developing. Tesla doesn't develop the cameras. Tesla has nothing to do with camera development, right? If anything, they're just removing parts of the camera, right? Like the compressor, the analyzer, things of that nature, so they can get the raw photon count. But this is the whole point. And he's getting away with it. He somehow was able to just say nothing, play stupid, and get away with it. Again, I get it. Warren probably has a few other things he wants to cover with Alex, and it's probably why he didn't keep pressing. He's like, all right, I'm getting impatient. Like, this guy's just not getting it. He's going to keep playing stupid. I guess that's a tactic. We see that all the time. We see it on the news. We see senators, governors, they dismiss pointed questions, but this is the stuff that just, I think it grinds all of our gears, and I think that's why YouTube has blown up, because we're sick of this kind of thing. Look, you were asked a direct question. Did Sandy Munro say Tesla FSD's crap, yes or no? That's it. That's all you had to do. Yes or no. And the answer is no. He did not. He said cameras, he says LiDAR, he says radar. He said that's the stuff that nobody really needs. And he said FLIR is what we need, right? He gave the entire example with Saddam Hussein, the bunker. Did we use cameras? No. Did we use GPS? No. Did we use, and actually, none of that's true. You have to use GPS. So that's just another fallacy when it comes to Sandy, along with him calling FLIR and night vision goggles the same thing. Again, in the video I made about this, I prove him wrong yet again. I love Sandy. I'm a huge Sandy fan. But when it comes to this technology, when it comes to AI, when it comes to neural nets, Sandy is out of his realm. Alex is definitely out of his realm. Sandy should stick to talking about automotive technology, manufacturing, processes, lines, things of that nature. Sandy's excellent at that. That's his sphere of domain. He knows that very well. But I think Sandy's trying to step out of his sphere of what he knows, and he thinks he knows other things, so he must know about this, or he has an authority on it. But, I don't know. There's something about egos that come into this. And I think Alex has a big ego when it comes to this, and Alex thinks that he can do no wrong. He can interview these people and just get away with it. You can't. I'm sorry. It's not okay.
Understand what Tesla is doing in FSD in terms of their artificial intelligence, their vision system, the way they model the world, the way they perceive the world, the way they do their planning, the way they do their mapping, the way they do their control systems. What is your, innate expertise or your experience in life that qualifies you to have an opinion on this stuff?
Yes.
And by the way, I don't have any either.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I have some. So I've been around artificial intelligence for about 20 years now. So I don't want to bring friends and family into this, but one of my friends or family has been one of the biggest experts in AI, even 20 years ago. Their technology has been used in Apple products, and I don't want to name it just so I don't want to be traced it, because I don't.
All right, so I got to stop it there. This is just comical. So first of all, he's been around AI for the last 20 years. All right, we've all been around AI for the last 20 years, if that's going to be your point of why you're some expertise on this. All right, and then he goes on to say, well, I don't want to name drop any friends or family, but let me go ahead and name drop a friend or family. And he says that one of his friends or family is one of the best people out there when it comes to AI, and even works for Apple. First of all, since when has Apple had any good AI? Siri is still garbage. We'll just start with that. But second, okay, so you have a friend or a family member who is in the AI space. Okay, my best friend is a intellectual property attorney based out of the Bay Area. That doesn't mean I know anything about litigation. That doesn't mean I know anything about how to prosecute. That doesn't mean I know anything about patent law. Just because, we're very, very close friends, and we even talk about it. We talk about a lot of the things that he does. We talk about some of the cases he's won. Right? We talk about these things. That does not give me any form of authority on a subject matter at all. So I don't understand the point here. No, you have no authority at all. You can't even regurgitate to me what the neural nets are, how they work, right? You can't tell me when Andre Karpathy said a bag of points. Explain to me. What does that mean? Can you explain that to me? I bet you can't.
Please tell me they don't do it. If they do Apple's autocorrect, then I'm not impressed.
No. So I understand artificial intelligence quite well, actually, and I've attended many seminars and conferences on that. But besides that, I also rely on other people who are much smarter than me, right? I think that's actually very important. One of the people I rely on about how not impressive, for the lack of the better word, I don't want to trigger the entire chat here, they're going to have a heart attack, but not impressive FSD is using Tesla's own words. 2-3 years ago, Tesla has admitted that they are no longer able to develop their FSD successfully. They had to rewrite completely the core software, and they had to do it 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. To me, that's the admission that all this time, what they were doing and promising the robotaxis was something that they just ran to the ground.
Do you know what a local maximum is?
No.
Okay. Elon explained it. They were making great progress and they had a local maximum, which means they realized they were climbing a hill, but they realized the hill they were climbing wasn't get them where they wanted to go. And they had to do a fundamental rewrite so they could get to a different hill that could get them where they needed to go. And you can't know that you're approaching an inadequate local maximum until you get close to it and you realize it.
You can know. I agree with you. That's why there should be no claims about robotaxis next year. They should have been like, hey guys, we're doing our best. We're working on this. Seems to like we're making good progress. As soon as we're done, you'll be the first ones to know.
So again, this is the big problem. One, we've gotten so far off, him making a wrong statement about Sandy Munro, and now we're sitting here talking about FSD and are they on the right track, are they not right track, all this stuff. But then Alex is going to sit here and claim, okay, well, forget about my expertise and all that. I also rely on people smarter than me. I rely on Tesla's team, and they're the ones that said that what their approach wasn't right, and they had to do a fundamental rewrite of the code and all this stuff, right? Stuff we already know, ancient history. But Warren had a good point here. So what he's talking about with local maximas is essentially saying, look, when we're working on a project, especially we're trying to solve a problem that's never been done, arguably the hardest problem that we've ever tried to solve as humans. So in order to get to that actual finish line, well, we go down a certain path that we think is right. Now, once we reach the maximum, right, the local maximum is what he's talking about, think of it as like a mountain. And I'm starting to get to the very top of the mountain. And I think this is the tallest mountain in the world. But when I get to the top of that mountain, I realize, oh no, look, now that I'm on top of this mountain, I can see, it's like the allegory of the cave, right? Until you come out of the cave, you're blind to everything, and then you see the light. Well, same thing. Once you summit to the top of that mountain, well, now you can see what the next highest mountain is. So now we have to go there, and it's that inevitability of a higher mountain, a higher mountain, a higher mountain. And so that's the local maxima. So when it comes to Tesla, they decided that they needed to do a fundamental rewrite of what they were doing. Essentially, they were going to rely more on the neural nets. That's essentially what's been happening, what's going on here. And so, but here's the hypocrisy of Alex. Alex is sitting there saying, okay, well, I'm going to look at Tesla and look at their team, and they said essentially it's all crap, and they're promising robo-taxis. First of all, nobody's ever promised robo-taxis by a certain date. Elon team get asked a question, they give their best prediction. That's all they can do. What else am I supposed to do? Nobody's promising something that they can't determine. All right. So all they're doing is they're giving you their best guess. That's it. That's all it is. Nobody would promise. Nobody would put money on it. Now, on that same note, if Alex is going to use the Tesla team as his sphere of influence for what truth is, right? Because he doesn't know much. He's got a friend who's in AI, but he doesn't know anything. Well, then Alex should also use them whenever they're saying that by the end of this year, they'll be at level 4 for autonomous vehicles. Yet he completely misses that part out. Instead, he takes the 2018 version of the Tesla team and what they were doing, and he relies on 2018, not the 2022 version. Interesting how he decides to nitpick things. Very much how he nitpicked what Sandy Munro said, made another video, clipped it out to be what he wanted Sandy to say. So we're seeing a commonality here with Alex.
But bragging about it and promising stuff all the time, that's where the problem lies. The problem with FSD is not FSD. It's the PR around it or bad PR around it. But what I'm saying is that don't forget that the guy is in charge right now. He was basically left by default to be in charge. There were two other brilliant engineers.
Who are you referring to?
Karpathy, right? I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
He doesn't even know how to say Andres Karpathy's name. He isn't aware who he is. And the whole Tesla is bragging about. Tesla doesn't brag about anything. All right, like they talk about where they are, their iteration. They're excited about certain things, right? And if anything, Elon talks about it. And Elon says, yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. The next version will be better. But, I drive the Alpha. I test drive what, which is going to be released. I mean, Elon gives more so updates, right? He doesn't sit there and brag about it. He doesn't talk about robo-taxis being next year or anything like that. And even with the level 4 thing, how did that come about? Well, he was on an interview with Lex Fridman, and Lex Fridman asked him, when do you think? And Elon said, well, if I had to give my best guess, I would say by the end of the year. Again, this isn't Elon bragging. He's asked a question. Elon gives an answer. We don't see that from any CEOs. We don't see that from senators. We don't see that from the president. We don't see that from anybody. We don't see that from Alex. Alex, yes or no? Did Sandy Munro say Tesla FSD is crap? Nope, not getting the answer. He just sidesteps it. Same thing over and over.
Ashok, are you talking about Karpathy? Are you talking about
right?
Karpathy is not in charge of of FSD.
What is he in charge of?
Ashok is in charge of FSD. Karpathy is in charge of artificial intelligence.
Right, but that's a huge part of FSD, isn't it?
Again, you see, he doesn't actually know what he's talking about here. He's not even aware of who's in charge of FSD beta, which is funny because whenever Andre was going out on sabbatical for 4 months to travel across Europe, everybody just got into a frenzy about this, which is hilarious to me because, again, everyone's sitting there saying, oh, well, if Tesla's so close to solving FSD by the end of this year, why is Andre Karpathy going on a sabbatical for 4 months? Oh, no. Meanwhile, Karpathy literally tweets saying he can't wait to get back and play with Dojo and the GPU cluster and all that. Meanwhile, Karpathy, essentially claps back at Comma AI for saying, oh, now that Karpathy is on a sabbatical, Comma AI is going to be that much closer to surpassing Tesla FSD. And what did Karpathy tweet back? So like 0.001% closer, right? It was brilliant. So again, he's sticking up for Tesla. He's tweeting more. The whole point of this trip is to go across Europe, go across Asia. And look, let's just think about this. In this time span, Canada's gone ahead and been released. So now we have FSD beta live in US and Canada. And then while Karpathy is in the UK and going across Europe, Elon just tweeted that Europe should be coming up for FSD beta release this summer. And it will start with left-hand driving, I think that's how he worded it, countries. Are these coincidences? I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at the facts and putting them together. That's all I'm doing. So I think this is a little bit, misunderstood, right? Again, he's not leading the FSD beta team anymore. He's in charge of Tesla AI as a whole. And keep in mind, he's gone for 4 months. We're in March, all right? So April, May, June. So he'll be back for the last 6 months of the year. And everybody's freaking out about this. Oh, I guess I missed a month. That was 3. Okay, so he'll be back in July. So he'll be back for the last 5 months of the year. I think it's going to be okay. I don't think he's going anywhere. He's got really the best gig in the world right now within this space. He's leading everything. He gets all the clout for a lot of the great engineers underneath that are doing a lot of good work. And at the end of the day, it's not just one person that makes any of this happen. It's the whole team. All right, enough about that piece of it. Let's get back to my main point. My main point of this was I really wish Warren would have gone a lot harder on Alex and pinned him into a corner. I don't like how disingenuous Alex was at all with these Sandy Munro videos. That's why I made one, calling him out on it. The only reason I'm making this video is because I got excited when, Warren started asking him a question. I thought Warren was not going to let off the pedal on this one, right? It's really bad that he's doing this. He's taking what Sandy said, manipulating it into something Sandy did not say. And the argument that, oh, Sandy watches it, his team watches it, so they would have corrected something. BS. BS they would have, because they didn't. We all saw the clip. That's not what he said. End of story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is good to hear someone call him out. Whatever you think of Warren, again, I'm a fan of his Tesla content. I'm a fan of him going at people like this who are not saying things correctly. And, somebody's got to call him out. Somebody's got to hold people accountable, right? This is the beauty of free speech. Yes, Alex can say whatever he wants, but guess what? We get to rebut as well. We get to give our side of it and call people out for anything that may not be accurate. All right, we're going to leave it there. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought. Don't forget, we do have a merch store. You can find the link. I don't know why I did that. You can find the link down there in the description. And with that said, we're going to leave it there. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. I love you all. Peace.